Hey everyone, my name is Jacob. I'm part of the talent acquisition team here at Boise State. Today I'm just going to walk you through a create a requisition step-by-step process that you can follow in case you're new to this or you just need a refresher. This is exactly what you're going to do to create a requisition in PageUp. So starting from my dashboard, I'm in my DRC account. This is my dummy account. I'm going to pretend that I am the DRC for human resources. So if I'm going to recruit for a position here, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to the left-hand side and click this three little pancake icon. And then I'm going to bring my mouse down underneath the blue job section to click on Manage Position Descriptions. So as you can see, with everything cleared out, you can see the whole list of certain positions and their job standards that you could recruit for. But let's say that I want to recruit for a business operations coordinator. How would I be able to search that up? I could search it up with the job code number. I could search it up with the classification title. Either of those work. So I'm going to search by the classification title, business operations manager. And once I hit enter, or if I click search over here, it'll give me two options. There's a business operations manager and a business operations manager senior. I'm just going to recruit for the first option, business operations manager. And to do so, I'm going to bring my mouse all the way to the right-hand side and click recruit for position. From there, it's going to take me to a blank requisition of which I can go through and enter in the applicable details for this specific position. But before I do so, I'm going to walk you through these three tabs up at the top. So we're in position info, and this is where all the details are going to go for the requisition. However, there are two other sections, notes and documents, that you can click on and do stuff with. The notes section is a perfect place to leave any information that might be relevant or needed to be seen by your talent acquisition specialist. So let's pretend that I wanted to leave a note and say something along the lines of, please leave this position open for 2 weeks and salary, or list salary at $55,000. Something of those lines. It could be any note that you need to leave on the requisition. Typically, these are two great examples of what you can leave, letting your talent acquisition specialist know how long it might be open for and what to post the salary range on. Any other details are perfectly fine. You could always upload a file if you need to for whatever reason. You could also email this note to your talent acquisition specialist. So if I wanted to, I could search up, let's pretend that I am the talent acquisition specialist. I could search up my name, click select, and email this note to that user. And they would get a notification in their email, of course, letting them know that you left a note and what it said. So that's just a cool resource you could use. The document section, this could be a perfect place to upload any interview documents that you might have collected during your time interviewing the candidates. Maybe there are changes to a job standard that you got approved by compensation that you want to include. You can put that here. This is a great place that you can leave documents for. Moving back to position info, let's go down the line and walk through what you need to put in each box. Starting at the top, requisition number. This can be left blank. It'll autofill to create an automatic reference number that you can use moving forward. Job title, you can leave as is, or you can customize it to make it something more relevant to the position that you're recruiting for. So maybe business operations manager isn't exactly what it is. I could change that title. However, I want to make sure that the title that I change it to is relevant to what the position actually entails. So I wouldn't want to name this position Vice President of Operations, because at this current level, business operations manager does not equal or not in line with a vice president role. So just keep that in mind. Job type, I have the option between regular full-time or regular part-time. I'm going to say this is a full-time position. This is not a temporary job. And then everything else below that will autofill. You just want to confirm that that looks correct. Standard weekly hours, I'm going to put 40. If this was anything less than that, say 30 or 20, I could put that as well. Standard months, this is going to be a standard 12-month position. If it's like say a 9-month faculty, you would put 9 or any of the other applicable months. Desired start date, this could be a tentative start date, so it's not going to be exact. It doesn't have to be exact, but let's just say I want this start date to be maybe August 1st. Give me 2 months to do a search. Should be plenty of time, hopefully. Department, I am on behalf of HR, so I'm going to do finance and administration and human resource services. Campus location, this is going to be at Boise State on the main campus, but any other location you'd want to list as is. Now we're getting to the details of what will actually go on the posting for this requisition. A lot of these spaces you're not going to be able to fill out, but your talent acquisition specialist does have access to edit these spaces. So like I mentioned earlier, maybe you got a certain change to the job standard approved by compensation and you included that and sent it to your talent acquisition specialist. You could leave a note asking to change that and they can go in and change that here, but you do not have access to do so. But there are certain fields you can edit. So like the department overview, this could be a brief paragraph explaining the culture and environment of our department and what someone might expect working in our department it might experience. Moving down, we have additional job duties. This will be any other job duties that aren't included in the standard 60% up here. So these could be department specific ones. And it's up to you to list it. You can list as many as you want to, or as little as you want to. Preferred qualifications. These are any additional qualifications besides the minimum that you might be looking for in a specific candidate. So if the minimum qualifications are bachelor's and 2 years of professional experience or equivalent level experience, maybe you're looking for a specific type of bachelor's degree, or maybe a master's degree. Just an additional qualification that you might be in favor for when looking through the candidate pool. Required application materials. Typically, we ask for resume, cover letter, and the contact information for 3 professional references. However, if there are any additional documents you would like them to submit, you can list that in this required application materials section. Team, I'm going to select human resource services. If I were to leave that blank on the unassigned team, then anyone with PageUp access as like a search committee member or DRC would be able to see that this requisition in their dashboard or in their field. So make sure you're selecting the correct team. Salary, this is a salaried position. If for whatever reason it was prorated, salary position, I would select that. This isn't an hourly position, but if I were hiring for say a classified position, then I would put one of the two. This is not a limited service and it's not shift pay. The pay grade will calculate over. This will provide the minimum and maximum you can hire for this type of position. Maximum budgeted salary, you could just put whatever, the maximum amount you can offer to this employee for their salary. So let's just say it's $60,000. Funding source, you're just going to select whichever one. It's easy. It might be easier to say, start typing it in and it'll start to filter out rather than just scrolling through because there are a lot. And then the distribution percentage. So if you only have one funding source, then you're just going to put 100. But say if you have 2 or 3, you want to make sure those percentages for the distributions are adding up to 100%. Moving on to number of openings. Say we only have one PCN for this position, one opening, and it's a new PCN. I'm going to put the number 1 in here, hit add more, and it'll add 1 PCN. If I wanted to say refill, I have 2 vacant PCNs that were previously being used, but now they're vacant, and I needed to refill those positions. I could put 2 here, and I could enter in the PCNs here, so whatever that might be. Let's just say I'm refilling 1, and I'm just going to enter in a random PCN. Search committee details, you're going to want to make sure you're listing all search committee members underneath this section. So whoever the search committee chair is, let's just pretend it's me. And then any search committee members, you would just click add search committee member, search up their name, click add, and then it will add them below. Remember to hit save if you were to do this at a separate occasion. I've done this many times where I've added a search committee member and not hit save, and then it doesn't show up in their dashboard. So remember at the end of all this to hit save. But just that's a little tidbit of information because it's a mistake I've made plenty of times. Recruitment process. This is going to be a classified, non-classified professional posting. And then all of these selected boxes are going to be already the posting is going to be already advertised to these specific sites for free. But if your department wishes to advertise in other areas, you can list them here. Some of those sites might be free that you list, but if they do cost money, then that is expected to be paid for by your department. And so if you're doing so, you just want to list the advertising section here, the budget that you would like to have, so say a posting costs $500 for 30 days, you would put that in the budget, $500, and then the fund source for that position, that's going to pay for the posting. Posting location is going to be in Boise, Idaho, because the position is stationed in Boise. And then you have the option to list an advertising summary and any detail that you would like. This could just be anything from one sentence to a paragraph, giving the gist of what this position is about and what the department is looking for in an applicant. This could be anything. It could be as simple as, Human Resource Services is looking to fill a business operations manager. Please send in applications. Something, along those lines. It doesn't have to be too grandiose. Down here is the advertisement text. This is where your talent acquisition specialist is going to make the edits to the posting to make it look pretty and presentable. And to wrap up the requisition process, the users and approvals, this is critical because if you don't fill in the users and approvals section, then it won't go anywhere after you hit save, and it'll just kind of sit in this little dead space. And so you want to make sure you're filling in all the users and approvals for this requisition at the very end. So fund manager, I'm just going to fill in my name for all of these so that way it doesn't actually get routed to any one specific queue. So you want to list the fund manager. The initiator is going to automatically fill as yourself. And then you want to enter an approval process. So for this, I'm doing a standard hire requisition. If this was a faculty position, I would hit that. Or if this was a grant requisition, I would click one of the following. But this is just a standard hire requisition. And then the supervisor auto-filled to myself, and so did the talent acquisition specialist. Sometimes these are left blank, so you would have to enter those in. So whoever the supervisor would be for the position, whoever your assigned talent acquisition specialist is. Lastly, you want to make sure you're also putting the same talent acquisition specialist at the bottom here. Whoever creates the job standard and puts this in PageUp, whoever that might be, is automatically assigned as a talent acquisition specialist at the bottom. If that's not your talent acquisition specialist, please change it to whoever it is that is assigned to your department. But that is a brief overview of how to create a requisition in PageUp. Obviously, you want to hit save at the end, and if everything looks good, you should get like a little green checkbox up at the top saying that it's been saved, and it'll go on through the approval process starting with the supervisor. If you have any further questions about how to create a requisition in PageUp, please reach out to your talent acquisition specialist and we can help you moving forward. But thank you for listening, and let us know if you have any more questions.